Hello, it's Concord Wind. During Exposing Corruption 7, wasn't able to think of anything to say. But after I ended the video, I started thinking of some things I wanted to say. So I'm making this video as kind of an afterthoughts video, you know, to talk about what I think of what we read, you know, what I read, whatever I read and you listened. And, it just, those words make me question myself, like, am I really loyal to God? Have I given my heart to Him? Am I compatible with Him? Am I compatible with Christ? You know, I can't answer these questions. I guess I can, but it doesn't mean those answers are like absolute. Like, I don't really know um, the answers to those questions, even if I were to answer them. Like, is my heart given to God? Well, I think it is. I believe it is. But, my standard could be different from God's standard. And so, it's just, it motivates me to want to work harder and do more. I just, I want to try my best. And, my mom always says, all you can do is your best. And, I know I used to be really greedy. I used to be really arrogant. I used to be deceptive and would lie everywhere I went. I'd go to the bar and lie to everybody at the bar. And so, yeah, I know who I used to be, but have I changed enough? Like, I think I have. When I reflect on myself and when I read God's words, like, I'm comforted because I'm like, yeah, the person that's good that God is describing sounds like me. And the person that's bad God is describing sounds like who I used to be. So when I reflect on myself, I see that I have changed. But those words today in Exposing Corruption 7, you know, um, they made me kind of rethink myself a little bit and think, but I still can't find any, like, as I reflect upon myself, like, I still can't find any of those corruptions that are described, you know? So, but then again, we've read in previous episodes that coming into contact with Christ is when your corruption is revealed. And I don't think any of us are going to be able to come into contact with Christ in our lifetimes. So, yeah, not much we can do about that. I'm laughing, but it's actually sad. I would love to come into contact with Christ. I'd love to be able to hug him and tell him I love him and, just obey everything he tells me. And I don't know how, like, I don't have expectations of Christ. Like, if I were to come into contact with Christ, like, I wouldn't be too surprised by anything he said or did because I don't have expectations. I don't have an image in my head of Christ. Like, the only image I have in my head of Christ is either like being able to hug him or him not letting me hug him. Like, I don't know. Either he lets me hug him or he doesn't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he would do about that. Um, but I don't have expectations of him. I don't pretend like in my head. I don't pretend to know Christ. Like, I know God from His words, and I understand Christ from God's words. But that's not the same as meeting Christ in person and getting to know Him. It's different, and I acknowledge that. And so I don't have expectations of Christ. Like, I just, if he does something really weird or says something really weird, I'll accept it, and it won't surprise me because I just don't have expectations of him. So I'm open to the idea of him saying some weird stuff or some harsh stuff or some strict stuff or some nice stuff or just like he might let me hug him, he might not let me hug him, he might be mean to me, he might be nice to me, he might be very normal, there might be some things he doesn't know, like or he might know everything. I mean, I don't know, but like letting go of those expectations helps. Like, if I ever do come into contact with Christ, like, I feel like you know um I've prepared myself, and I've read enough of these words. Like, I've prepared myself to just not have expectations. So, nothing he do will surprise me or go against my notions because I don't have notions about him because I've eliminated those. I've realized that I don't know how he'll be in person, and I've accepted that, and I so yeah, just wanted to open up and talk about all this. So thank you for listening. God bless you. Goodbye.